Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Everyone's favourite superhero family is back, and we talk about what adventures they go on in our review of Incredibles 2. Some more footage of the Spider-Man PlayStation 4 game has been released this week, a shake-up of the DC Cinematic Universe, with Henry Cavill hitting the gym, what to expect after Avengers 4, and much, much more in this week's episode of Cognitive Recalibration. Hi everyone and welcome to the Cognitive Recalibration podcast. As always, I'm your host Shravan. We've got Tarun on the line, and today's a very special episode because we also have a guest. His name is Kishore, and we're going to be talking about Incredibles 2, which is a family of superheroes, and this is also a family affair because Kishore is my brother-in-law and Tarun's my brother, so we've got the whole family on the podcast this week. The guys can't stop laughing at that joke.
Pleasure to be here, guys. I heard a lot of good things about this, so keen to finally get involved.
Yeah. For me, it's not a pleasure. I wish I wasn't here, but, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
All right. Well, before we jump into the Incredibles 2 review, we'll talk about some of the news that came out this week. It's going to be a tradition that whenever we have a guest on our podcast, they have to do the first news item. So me and Taro didn't watch the Spider-Man PS4 game trailer, but our guest Kishore did, so he's going to be talking about it.
Yeah, fair enough. So, yeah, I did watch this trailer the other day, and it was actually pretty good. I think me and Darren especially have been looking forward to this game for quite a while, and they said that it was going to be a bit of a, you know, an open game. The trailer was quite good. I thought the gameplay looked kind of what you'd expect from a Spider-Man game in terms of the fighting and the dialogues especially. There was some good dialogues. We didn't get to see a huge amount, but I think there's going to be a lot of villains in this one. So I think there was 5 in the trailer itself, which was pretty good, and they all seem to gang up on Spider-Man. So yeah, there's a bit of potential there. Haven't seen too much, but I feel like if they do make the game a bit open like they said they would, it's going to be a pretty good time.
Which villains were featured?
So they had Electro. I don't really know the
Green Goblin?
No, they didn't show Green Goblin. They had Scorpion, I think. Yeah.
Scorpion. Oh, Dr. Octopus?
From what I've heard, I think it's the Sinister Six in it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's got... Yeah. Who else is in it? The Serpent...
It's the Serpent Society.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're all working for someone, but they haven't revealed who that is.
It's probably going to be Kingpin, I think.
Kingpin? Yeah.
I think it's Kingpin.
Yeah. Or Norman Osborn, maybe.
Yeah. How was the gameplay?
You didn't get to see it a lot, but the fighting style looks pretty good, actually. Kind of, do you remember the old, I think it's Spider-Man 2 or whatever they had on Xbox?
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day?
It's actually a pretty good game. I played it.
Yeah. I rated that game as well.
So that one's based off the movie,
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But it seems like the fighting style is pretty similar to that.
Is that a good thing?
I think it's a good thing. I love that game.
All right, cool.
It's actually a pretty good game, that one.
Yeah.
So it's not
and it's
worst.
coming out September, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
This game's been in development for
a while.
So long.
I know you've been waiting for like 3 years for it, haven't you?
Well, I actually bought my PS4 to play that game, but
and you're still waiting.
I'm still waiting. Yeah.
It said you had to get Don Bradman 17.
Yeah. Instead, it was just as good.
Yeah. All right, then. We'll move on to the next segment of news. We're going to be talking about a lot of the DC stuff that came out this week. The first thing I wanted to talk about was Aquaman. So basically, it's been confirmed that the Aquaman trailer is going to be out for San Diego Comic-Con. And they've also released a whole bunch of images showing Nicole Kidman as his mother, I think. I think she's the queen, so it must be more of a flashback sequence.
No, I think it's present time.
Was she alive in Justice League?
I assume so. She's not in it, but I assume she's alive.
Okay. For some reason, I thought they said she died or something, but maybe not.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. And they also showed Patrick Wilson as the villain.
Yeah, he's Ocean Master. He's Nicole Kidman's sister, I think.
Sister.
He'll be brother. That would be a weird story. No, I think he's Nicole Kidman's brother, or like brother-in-law, or something like that.
Okay. And he wants the throne or something, probably.
Okay. Wait, they showed Aquaman's brother as well, yeah? Or half-brother or something?
I don't think
Or
they
is that
did.
the guy you're talking about?
Is that Black Manta?
No, the blonde-haired guy.
Yeah, that's who we're talking about.
Yeah, that's
Question
Patrick
mark.
Wilson.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be his half-brother or something like that.
Yeah, because he does look younger. Like, he looks around the same age as Aquaman.
Nicole Kidman looks pretty good, though, so it could be...
I think they're related in some way. I'm not sure how.
And they also showed Black Manta as well in an image. Just his helmet and the guy playing him.
Who's playing him?
Some black dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need to have the token black guy in every movie. I guess that covers it.
Yeah. And they also did show some images of Amber
Will
Heard.
Dafoe.
Nah, they
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
show
Amber-
Willem Dafoe. Yeah.
Did they not show Will Dafoe?
No, they didn't have anything of him. But
No, they did. They had, like, you know, they had a picture of James Wan doing the directing.
yeah.
And they had Defoe's, like...
Oh, was that him? Like, from the
Yeah.
back? Oh, okay. I thought that was Patrick Wilson, but...
But yeah, Amber Heard looked good, like usual.
Yeah, and there was a photo of them, like, on land, so they must come to land for something. Just them two. And they were looking at a map, so maybe they're looking for something.
Yeah, I saw that. They looked like
Yeah.
European tourists in that one.
Yeah, I think they're in Rome or something.
Okay.
It looks like they're in Rome, yeah. But, yeah, it looks... From what we've seen so far, it looks okay, but you never know with DC, so...
Yeah, true.
We'll have to wait till the trailer comes out. So there's a whole bunch of other DC news. So they've got rid of Jeff Johns as the creative head, and he's just become an executive producer now.
Jeff Johns is actually going to direct the Green Lantern movie, though.
Oh, he's directing it.
Yeah, so he's moved on to a more writing-directing role,
Okay.
and not like the Kevin Feige role, which he was doing beforehand.
And for the Kevin Feige role, they've got Walter Hamada, who's apparently he's looked at all the scripts and he's thrown some out and he's picked the ones that he wants to do. So the ones that are confirmed are the two Joker movies, which we talked about last week, with Joaquin Phoenix, and the other one with Jared Leto. The Joaquin Phoenix one is confirmed to be a $55 million budget, so it's more of a low-budget affair, the Joker origin story. The other movies that have been confirmed are Birds of Prey with Harley Quinn, and I guess it has Poison Ivy and Catwoman.
I don't think they've said which characters will feature just yet, but it will probably have... I think it will have Poison Ivy and possibly Catwoman, but they haven't said which ones just yet.
Wonder Woman 2 is already shooting, so that's confirmed. But what did come out was that Steve Trevor was in it,
Oh, really?
number 2, yeah. So they've shown some photos of him on set, so I'm not sure how he comes back or if it's a flashback sequence. We'll have to see.
Or it might be like her having visions or something, but
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Could be anything.
And it's based in the 80s, so he still looks the same as he did in the first movie.
So it's probably a flashback.
That's the only thing I can think of, because he's just human, so he's gonna age if he didn't die in that plane explosion. The other movie that was confirmed was the Flash movie. So that's gonna happen, apparently. And it's gonna have a Back to the Future style tone. So that should be interesting. And it's gonna start shooting in 2019. So they don't have a director yet, but it's gonna happen. That's what they're saying.
Still the same cast?
Yeah, still Ezra Miller
Yeah, okay.
as the Flash.
It is pretty good as the Flash, actually. Like, in
Yeah.
terms of his comedic timing compared to some of the other characters.
Yeah, but they kind of made him just like he was all the comedy, and
Yeah,
everyone
true.
else.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens with that one. And the other thing that came out was that the Matt Reeves Batman movie is gonna have a younger Batman. So more or less, Ben Affleck is out.
I think he's pretty happy about that.
What were your guys' feelings on Ben Affleck as Batman?
I really liked him, actually. I thought he was pretty, like, tank, obviously, but he kind of fit that dark, brooding style of Batman that we like. So, no, I thought he was pretty good.
I really liked him in Dawn of Justice. He was really good in that.
Yeah, he was good.
But then, once he got to Justice League... I don't think you've seen Justice League, have you, Kish?
No, I haven't seen it. I probably will never watch it.
Yeah, in Justice League, he's terrible. He's fucked. Yeah.
Was anyone good in Justice League?
Probably Wonder Woman was alright.
Yeah, Wonder Woman. I actually like Superman in Justice League as well. He's better than he was in previous movies.
Yeah.
But overall, everyone's pretty shit in it. It's not a great movie, but Ben Affleck is especially shit in it, and he's like fat and
So
like doesn't want to be
pretty
there.
thick. He's gone from thick to fat.
Yes, he's just got like a massive tummy, and yeah, he's not good.
Well, my feelings on Ben Affleck are he was good, but I think his acting was good and the way he went about it was good, but overall his character wasn't true to Bruce Wayne or Batman because he was killing people, and Bruce Wayne's not this depressed guy. Like, he is depressed sometimes, but he's not always depressed. For some reason, he's always depressed in
I
these
think
movies.
Ben Affleck was just depressed.
Yeah,
That was just him.
most people in the DC universe are just depressed. It's just like the whole world needs some antidepressants. Just ship them out.
Yeah, so all the scenes of him as Bruce Wayne, they're just him. Like, they've just turned the camera on, and it's like, just be yourself.
I thought he was a really good Batman, though.
Yeah, he was good.
Nah, you haven't seen Justice League.
Yeah, in Justice League he's not great.
Okay.
But,
Yes.
Batman as Superman, he was good, but then again, he was killing people, which is not true to the character. So
Well, he wasn't killing anyone, was he? I thought he was just branding them.
No, he just gets out guns and starts shooting. people.
I'm pretty sure he killed people.
He
Yeah.
goes rogue. Like, it's implied that people died from his actions. Yeah.
Did you have anything else to say regarding DC? Any news that you had?
Well, yeah, to go back on what I said last week, basically, the Green Lantern film will feature Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart as the main characters.
For those who didn't listen to last week's episode, we basically said that the Green Lantern movie is not about Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart.
Yeah, look, we really need to get our sources right.
It could change again next week.
Yeah, it could change again next week. But for now, it's Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart.
And Tyrese is back, right?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
But no casting news as to who they're thinking,
No.
right? Yeah.
No. But I think I said last week they're looking for a younger Jon Stewart.
Okay, yeah. And we were thinking Donald Glover.
Yeah, it would be good.
No,
actually.
Michael B. I was saying
Michael B. Jordan. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we were thinking Donald Glover for Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's
Yeah.
there's a Willy Wonka remake or reboot, and it's like a younger Willy Wonka.
That could be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, but it's the director of Paddington.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
so it's definitely going to be good then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because we started talking about it. We're like, no one wants this movie, but then like the more we talked
The
about,
more
the
we
more we
talked about
wanted.
it, yeah.
They wouldn't get Johnny Depp again.
He's the older Willy Wonka, but the younger one's Donald Glover. I don't know how it changes, but
For some reason, he has a Michael Jackson he has a Michael Jackson reformation, turns into Johnny
I'm okay
Depp.
with that.
Yeah.
you had some Marvel stuff that you want to talk about.
Should I keep going on the DC bandwagon? And
Oh, you have some more DC, all right.
Henry Cavill has been hitting the gym again. And he put up that's not the whole news. He's been hitting the gym, and he put up an Instagram post, and basically there was some hashtags in it implying that he's going to be playing Superman again soon.
Really?
So, not sure where that's going to come up, because there's no movie announced, but some people are speculating that he could show up in Shazam.
I heard it might be in Shazam, but potentially, yeah.
But the main news is Henry Cavill's hitting the gym again.
Yeah.
And he's put up a new picture on Instagram.
Yeah.
Well, he probably hits the gym
I feel
all the
like
time.
There's never a time when Henry Cavill doesn't hit the gym.
No, but he's seriously hitting the gym now.
Okay.
Like, it's on, yeah.
Okay, it's on more than usual. Okay.
It's on more than usual. Marvel news. So, Kevin Feige has given us a little hint about what to expect after Avengers 4 in terms of the MCU moving forward. So he said there'll be continuing stories of characters you're familiar with, which we expected anyway. He said there'll be different incarnations of characters you know, which I feel will be kind of when Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. step away from their roles. They might have other people step into the kind of Iron Man mantle and the Captain America mantle. And he also said introducing completely new characters from the comics you've never heard before. And going on that, there has been news that Miss Marvel will probably make an appearance in the MCU after Captain Marvel at some point, and she's actually the first Muslim superhero in comic books, so that could be interesting to see.
Yeah, that could be quite interesting.
What do you guys think about that?
I've heard about Miss Marvel potentially being introduced after the Captain Marvel movie. The role model for that character is Captain Marvel.
Yeah, she's inspired by Captain Marvel to do her thing.
And she's from Pakistan?
No, I think she lives in... Doesn't she live in America? And
yeah, but she's origins from Pakistan, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so that'll be good. And her powers are basically kind of like the Mr. Fantastic. She's like elastic.
I think so. Similar. I don't know a whole lot about the character, to be honest, but all I know is that she's inspired by Captain Marvel and she's Muslim.
I think she's similar age to Peter Parker, like high school age.
In terms of different incarnations of characters that you know, that will be interesting to see if they can pull off what the characters are at the moment, because everyone's so used to Chris Evans as Captain America, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man and stuff like that, so it'll be difficult to try and picture someone else stepping into that role without kind of ruining it a little bit.
The obvious one is that one of either Sam Wilson or Bucky become Captain America.
Yeah, that's the obvious one.
I'm not sure about Iron Man. I think they might just retire Iron Man.
Yeah, I feel like they'll retire him. He's kind of like untouchable now, I reckon.
Well, in terms of Iron Man, there could be Shuri stepping into that role, or there's rumors that Shuri might step into like a Black Panther role going forward as well. So it could go either way.
So they already want to get rid of Chadwick Boseman.
No, well, like when... Yeah, it's like enough of that guy. No, but eventually I think they're thinking about that.
Yeah, I can see that. Her in a Black Panther role.
They're saying like even in Infinity, the sequel to Infinity War, she could become Black Panther.
Black Panther. It's possible if she's still alive.
Black Panther's absence, yeah. Yeah, we don't know if she's alive actually, because they never show her.
You know what's strange though? Just thinking about the end of Infinity War. You know when they, like half of them disappeared? When Black Panther went, his suit went as well.
Yeah.
Which is like...
It's been explained, actually. I haven't talked about this, I don't think.
No, we talked about it in a previous episode, I think.
Well, I clearly didn't listen to the previous episode.
Well, I talked about it, so obviously no one listened to it, including the co-host.
Yeah, I wasn't listening. I listened about 20% of the time.
Yeah, fair enough.
But basically, anything that's a part of that character's entity, so including their clothes, disappeared. So even if they owned something... that also disappeared. So that's why Bucky's arm also disappeared, even though that's technically not part of his body. So that was explained by the Russo brothers. I think they had a Q&A with some like fans, and one of the fans asked that.
Yeah.
That was a stupid question. You have a 2-minute timeout. You can't talk anymore. Bastard.
I think that's fair enough.
All right, moving on from that. This was actually news from last week that we forgot to mention, but some guy watched Avengers Infinity War 45 times in the theaters, which is a crazy amount of times, and he basically documented all of it on Twitter, and the execs at Marvel found out about it, and they've basically invited him to come over to the Avengers 4 premiere, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, if you're watching it that many times... I think you deserve a good reward there.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, 45 times, if the tickets cost at least $10, which is cheap for the tickets, he spent $450 on this movie.
Yeah.
And
45 times, so like, it hasn't been out for that long. Like, has it been out it might be out for 60 days now, right? It's been about a couple of months. So you almost watched it once every day.
Yeah, like every day, which would have been... Does this guy not have a job? Like, it's pretty interesting. But, you know, I would have watched it 45 times to get invited into the premiere, but I think it's too late for that now.
It's probably too late. Yeah, he started. He got there before us.
What else do I have? I just have one more piece of news about Marvel. So there was some footage shown at Eurocon, I think it's called. No, it's called CineEuro. So that was totally wrong. And basically, there was some Avengers 4 stuff, which isn't really that big, but it was basically Kevin Feige just talking to the people there. It was kind of like a pre-recorded thing that he just said, and it was like apologizing that so many of the characters died off in Avengers Infinity War. there wasn't any title revealed or anything. It was just called Avengers Untitled, so they're still keeping that pretty tightly under wraps. And then there was also a few scenes shown from Captain Marvel, and there hasn't been a description put out about it, but the gist of it is basically that she's the most powerful hero, and she's going to be the leader of the universe moving forward. So I think she'll play a pretty big part. She'll probably take over kind of the Iron Man leader mantle going forward.
Or Captain America, yeah.
Well, I think Iron Man's kind of the leader of the universe, even though he sucks at being a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He's the leader of the universe, but he's not the leader of the team.
Yeah. But basically, Captain Marvel's going to take over that role once they inevitably step away. Yeah, so there's not much news in there in terms of Marvel stuff, or any stuff in general. We probably had more news last week. But I think we have a few trailers.
Yeah, we got a couple of trailers to talk about and a couple of other movie news that's come up. I'll talk about the Gargoyles, potential Gargoyles film. I talked about this to Kishore earlier, and he had no idea what Gargoyles was.
Oh, you don't know what Gargoyles is?
I've never heard of this.
Gargoyles is fucking awesome.
Alright, explain.
So there's this, like, I think it's set in France, and there's like these gargoyles that live on top of a tower. They're stone statues, but when it's nighttime, they fucking become real, like, gargoyles, and they go and fight crime and shit. It's pretty awesome.
Is it like a cartoon or like a show?
It's a cartoon. It's a cartoon.
It's an animated show.
That used to come when we were kids.
Yeah, so it came between 94 and 97, but we might have got it a bit later.
I feel like I definitely watched it when we were kids.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was when we were kids.
Yeah, actually, that was a good show. So is that coming on now, like in a trailer or something?
No, so like the director of, firstly, some of the stuff you said was wrong, so I'll correct that in a second. But the director of Get Out.
That's how I remember it. Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
The director of Get Out basically pitched a story to Disney for a Gargoyles film, but Disney haven't accepted it as yet. Like, they haven't said anything, because I think they're still a bit apprehensive about taking on a new franchise, especially with Star Wars, which was meant to be their biggest franchise, not doing as well as it should be doing. Basically, there's a script out there for a Gargoyles movie. But the story is that there was these gargoyles in Scotland like 1,000 years ago.
Scotland, okay.
Yeah, and they got cursed to turn to stone. And the only way they could turn back into gargoyles was if the castle they were made into stone at rose above the cloud line, like it was above the clouds.
Yeah.
And so 1,000 years later, this famous, or this rich businessman in New York, he bought those gargoyle statues and he puts them on top of a tower in New York. Yep. And that tower's pretty big, so it actually rises above the clouds. And that's why they come back to life every night and fight crime.
Jeez, that's definitely a better backstory than...
So it's based in New York.
No, yeah, I forgot the logistics of it, but all I remember is at nighttime they come to life and they fuck shit up.
Yeah, so it actually had nothing to do with France.
Yeah, it had no French connection whatsoever.
You're probably thinking
I just remember going to France and seeing a lot of gargoyles there, so
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. You were probably thinking of Hunchback and Notre Dame, because that happens in Hunchback.
Yeah. Wait, so this was like a kids show?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I feel like I remember watching it, but don't remember that.
I remember it being pretty dark as well, to be honest. It wasn't like kids. It was like had dark.
It was quite
themes.
dark, yeah. Like, it was similar tone to the Batman animated series.
Yeah,
and even like similar animation as well. But I think it was overshadowed a bit by the Batman animated series. But it was quite a good show. It went for 3 seasons and had 78 episodes. So don't ask me how I know that. Okay, we'll talk about a couple of the trailers that came out this week. So one was The Nun. It was more of a teaser trailer. Me and Kishore watched that. You didn't, even though I told you.
No, I didn't watch it. Did you tell me to watch it? Oops. Yeah.
Are you going to watch it? Like, are you keen for it?
No, I'll watch it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what did you think of the trailer?
I thought it was a really good trailer. Like, normally, I think it's a very obviously anticipated movie. And normally for the scary films, the trailers either show too much where they kind of reveal all the scares, or they don't show much at all. But I thought it gave a good backstory in terms of, the setting and where they're going to do it. And then from there, they gave you a couple of scares, but just enough to know that there's still a lot more in the movie. So I thought it was a really good trailer.
The trailer starts off with make sure you watch till the end. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So the end has a bit of a scare in it. I thought it was interesting. I don't know if it was because I watched it on my phone, but some of the CGI looked a bit suspect.
Okay. No, I watched it on my laptop. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, so you felt it looked a bit suspect.
Yeah, because I go to some castle or a cathedral or something.
Yeah.
I thought that looked a bit suspect, but it is a trailer, so they'll probably refine it for the actual movie.
Well, I think in terms of potential and the materials that they've got, they could make this to be better than the Conjuring movies.
Potentially,
with what material they've got there. But whether they do is, a completely different story.
And another interesting thing that I found out was the main character, the sister.
Yeah.
She is Vera Farmiga's sister in real life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So maybe that character is actually related to the Conjuring character in some way.
It could be her ancestor because it's in the 1700s or something.
Yeah.
So is this set in the past?
Yeah. So it's before everything.
And that would make sense because she's had all those visions and all.
Yeah, so maybe she's related in some way to that character. That's why she knows about...
good pickup. Yeah.
About
Is the nun is the nun a real person in this movie, or is she like a ghost monster thing?
We're not sure yet. I think
it explains how it becomes like a ghost. Because I read the synopsis, and apparently they're investigating the suicide of a nun in Romania, but we don't know what happens after that. They've set it up pretty well, I think.
It's got good potential. So it's coming out in September, isn't it?
Yeah, September the 7th.
Should be good.
As long as it's better than the first Annabelle movie, then I think we're all right.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch that?
No, I still haven't seen that one, but I saw the second Annabelle movie, which was pretty
The second one was all right.
Yeah.
The first one was terrible.
Yeah.
Probably one of the worst horror movies I've ever seen. And I've seen some bad ones.
Yeah, that's probably out of the Conjuring franchise, that's probably by far the worst one, right?
Yeah.
Who's directing this movie?
It's someone relatively new.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think James Wan's still involved in some... I think he must have had
as like a producer or something. Yeah.
I looked up his filmography and he didn't have much on there, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, they're keeping it pretty under wraps. So it says the director is Corin Hardy. I don't know what else he's done. I've never heard of him.
Don't know who that is.
Apparently he's provided some commentary on the Nun trailer as well in a new video.
Oh, okay.
So that might be worth checking out as well.
Yeah. Last thing we'll talk about in terms of news was there was a short teaser for Dumbo.
Did anyone watch this?
Yeah, I watched it.
I actually watched it as well.
Yeah, I think you linked me on... Did you link me on Facebook?
I did link you.
Yeah, so that's why I watched it.
Yeah, I thought Carvey would be keen for it, so that's why I kind of linked you.
Yeah. It looks like... So basically it's directed by Tim Burton. So it's got
fuck Tim Burton. I'm not going to watch his shit. Fucking hell. I hate Tim Burton.
Really?
Tim Burton, well, back in the days he was really good, but his new movies are just... He tries to be quirky and shit, and it just ends up being weird.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's a Dumbo. Like, how much could you fuck up Dumbo?
Tim Burton will find it. He fucked up Willy Wonka, so he'll fuck up anything.
It's got a good cast, though.
From what I've seen in the teaser trailer, it is a departure from the actual Dumbo story, because it has... In the first Dumbo, the original Dumbo, they didn't really have any human characters.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
In this one, it seems like he's kind of got a family.
And it's got more of a family sort of aspect to it than the first
Does it have random Tim Burton shit in it?
We haven't seen anything
Not
yet.
really.
It doesn't have Johnny Depp, so that's...
Does it have Johnny Depp?
Yeah. Unless he is Dumbo.
Johnny Depp's a Dumbo. That's what you find out.
He's the motion capture for Dumbo. He has to reveal like he does in Fantastic Beasts. Like at the end, you find out it's Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
the whole time.
He takes off a mask. Dumbo takes off a mask and it's Johnny Depp underneath.
Maybe it's Ben Affleck. He's been bulking for Dumbo.
No, it's Henry Cavill. That's what he's been hitting the gym for.
Henry Cavill's been hitting the gym, guys.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Anything's possible.
In terms of the other cast members, there's Colin Farrell. And maybe Colin Farrell is actually...
Colin Farrell's going to take off a mask. It's going to be fucking Johnny Depp again.
It's got Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito, and Eva Green.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. He's not Dumbo, I checked.
Okay.
I already asked you that question.
Just his final role.
He's like the owner of the circus or something. It could be good. It could be anything. There wasn't much in the trailer to even.
Wait, that's coming out next year, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's coming out the 29th of March.
Okay.
So that's another live action Disney film that's coming out.
Yeah, look, anything that's directed by Tim Burton, I'm very wary of because he's burnt us so hard in the past.
What else was there?
Alice in Wonderland. Both
Yeah.
of them.
The second one?
He actually didn't direct the second one. He produced
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But the first one,
Yeah, it's
Which
pretty
is-
suspect.
Yeah. That was pretty suspect, yeah.
what else has he done recently? He's done some weird shit with Johnny Depp, like that vampire one.
Not even in the movies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the vampire one. Yeah, that was really
I
weird.
can't remember what it's called, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Well,
Vampire one. Oh, yeah, the one with Eva Green as well, right? Yeah, yeah. What was... You know the one where Johnny Depp's a barber? Was that Tim Burton?
Edward
Barbara-
Scissorhands.
No,
on
no.
Fleet Street or whatever.
Yeah, Sweeney Todd?
Oh,
Yeah, Sweeney Todd.
That's meant to be shit as well. It is Tim Burton. That's meant to be shit as well. It's based off a play.
Maybe we should do a best of Tim Burton
Or
episode.
worst
Oh,
of Tim
fuck.
Burton.
I hate Tim Burton so much.
Well, we should do a best of Johnny Depp.
Oh fuck! I hate Johnny Depp so much.
He's actually he was a pretty good actor.
Yeah.
Back in
He
the
was-
day.
He was, yeah.
he
he
was
wasn't
so
bad.
good until he's been typecast into this actor that just does weird shit. Yeah.
But he keeps getting cast in stuff these days, so...
Apparently, he's in financial trouble.
Is he?
You know how he got sued by his ex-wife, who's Amber Heard.
Amber Heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I thought
Oh,
she
like-
dropped the lawsuit.
No, I think she sued him.
Oh, she
I
picked
think
him
she
up
dropped
again.
it and then she took it up again. So he's
Yeah.
like in serious debt.
He's on the list of actors in financial trouble, like Nicolas Cage, and then apparently Ben Affleck.
Apparently Ben Affleck
Yeah,
as well.
I heard about
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm surprised Ben Affleck.
yeah. Now he wants to be Batman again, apparently,
Oh, really?
because of that.
No, but he's not. It's not going to happen.
All right. Well, that's all we have for news. I guess we'll talk about Incredibles 2.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
We'll do spoiler free first, and then spoilers. But before we talk about that, we'll talk about our movie going experience. Did you have any interesting experiences?
For me?
We had an interesting experience because
I-
we watched it in the Village Cinemas, which is a cinema chain here in Australia. They have a theater dedicated to children, and it has a
you watched
slide.
it, Junior.
Yeah, we watched it in
Yeah.
V Junior. So there's a slide in the cinema.
Like an actual playground slide.
Yeah, there's an actual playground slide in the cinema, and there's like beanbags and stuff for kids. So we ended up watching this movie in V
Yeah.
Junior, and basically they have an intermission as well, so that the kids can play on the slide. But yeah, we'll talk about that experience. But did you have? I heard your cinema was quite packed as well.
So yeah, I had an interesting experience as well. It's more, yeah, it's kind of funny actually. So I didn't manage to get to watch it on Friday night, so I had to watch it on Saturday during the day. And I thought I'd just go during the day. No one would probably be around. It'll be a quiet one, and I could watch it by myself. Ended up being, the theater was fully packed. You booked the ticket for me, actually. The theater was literally, there was a lot of people like our age in the theater. There wasn't that many kids. It was packed to the rafters. I ended up having to sit in the back row by myself. There was lots of like couples and shit as well. So I was like sitting behind this couple, the back row with my popcorn by myself. I had taken a shower in the morning because I'm like, oh, surely no one will be there. I can shower after I come home. So I was just like this dude who looked like he just got out of bed, sitting in the back row, creepily eating my popcorn while everyone was watching. I'm pretty sure the people
I purposely
in front of me
put
got
you like
creeped
the
out.
very back corner seat because it was actually really full. Like the whole cinema was full. Yeah.
I was sitting in a super suspect spot. It was really dark as well. So
They probably
Yeah.
thought you were a homeless guy.
I wouldn't blame them. I would not
Well,
blame them.
Luckily,
It
you
was
weren't
pretty-
sitting in V Junior then with the kids.
Yeah, there's no V Junior, but yeah,
Yeah.
if there was, that would have been that would have been even more suspect.
Well, even our cinema was quite full as well. Like mostly,
I think it was pretty much packed.
yeah, and it was pretty much like 60% kids.
Yeah,
Um,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
was all families. Pretty
Yeah, all families. Yeah, yeah.
For me, it was a surprising amount of like people our age going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people around our age that are fans of the first movie, so
Yeah.
there'd be a lot of people turning up from our age group as well. But basically during the intermission, this girl, I think she had an accident on the slide, and she ran across the whole cinema, like yelling, and she's like, "Oh, we need to go to the dentist, like immediately.
Yeah.
I broke my tooth, we need to go to the dentist." And me and Kishore were sitting right in front of where she ran past.
This was scarier than the Nun trailer. Like, it was probably the scariest thing I've seen.
And we were actually quite shaken by that incident. We're like, whoa.
Yeah, we
What
couldn't
did she
talk for
do?
a little bit. We're not sure, but did she end up leaving?
No, I think she was fine. She watched the rest of the movie.
Okay, so I think it was just hype. It was a lot of hype.
So
Yeah.
the question is, did they go to the dentist afterwards or not?
We didn't ask them, but
Yeah.
I'll try to give them a call.
I think we need to do some follow-up on this, and then
Yeah, I
we'll come
think so,
back to
yeah.
it next.
Yeah.
Homework
Yeah.
for next time.
We'll see her for the V Junior showing of the Nun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that's going to be packed.
No, we'll go, and Dumbo as well.
Yeah. All right, so we'll jump into the review. We'll ask our guest first. What were your thoughts on the movie?
Yeah, I think going into it, when you first heard that there was going to be an Incredibles movie, especially that late on, you're kind of not sure if it's going to be a cash grab or not. But no, I thought it was fantastic. I really, really liked the movie. I think what they did with it and the role reversal that they had, which you see in the trailer anyway, of the parents, I thought that was really well done. And I think the first thing that stood out, me and Travin were talking about this before, was just the graphics and how that's improved in the 14 years since they've, did the first movie. But I thought in general, the storyline and the, split between the mum and the dad and everything, I thought it was really, really well done. So no, I didn't have any complaints. I thought it was a great movie.
What did you think?
I thought it was pretty good. Probably not as good as the first one, in my opinion, but still really good in lots of aspects. I think the action was done really well. I'm a big fan of Brad Bird. I think he's done the best Mission Impossible movie. And you can kind of see how he gets all the action set pieces in this are excellent. And you can see, like, Brad Bird's influence on that. A couple of story elements that were pretty obvious for me going in. I guess the kids would enjoy it, but I'm like, I 100% knew this was going to happen from the start. The characters I do like the Mr. Incredible taking care of kids part. It's kind of interesting and goes in. At the start, I'm like, oh, this is going to be super annoying, but it actually goes in a way that is kind of fun. And yeah, all the characters are pretty good. It's a little bit disappointing in terms of I thought they would have a lot more superheroes in it, and they do, but the superheroes that they have in it aren't that interesting compared to the main characters.
Yeah, they kind of suck.
They kind of suck, yeah, to be honest. So I was hoping there would be more supervillains and stuff like that as well, which they don't kind of get into. But overall, I think it's a solid movie, but definitely not as good as the first one.
Yeah, my feeling were probably the same. Like, I probably like them both around equally. I thought the animation in this was definitely up a notch from the first one. It looked a lot better. You could even see the detail in their faces, like the freckles on Dash's face and stuff, which you couldn't see as much in the first one. I don't know why I noticed that, but it's just...
That's a weird thing to notice, mate.
I thought the cast was good again. So apparently pretty much all of them returned, except for the voice for Dash. So that's a new voice,
really?
but I couldn't even tell.
They had to, because the guy's older now. So his voice doesn't sound the same, so they got a new voice.
But Violet's voice was the same, and Mr. Incredible and Mrs. Elastigirl were the same, yeah.
Is it just me, or do you guys find Holly Hunter's voice a bit annoying?
Nah,
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
She's the mum in The Big Sick.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I think it's her accent. It sounds very
it's
country.
It's very, like, southern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get used to it after a while, but at the start you're like, this is pretty annoying.
Yeah, and she's, like, pretty much the main character in this movie,
yeah.
so you hear a lot more of her.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, story-wise, I thought, again, probably the same as you, about halfway through, because we had an intermission, I got some time to think about how it was going to go in the second half, and me and Kishore discussed it, and we pretty much guessed what was going to happen.
Yeah.
As soon as two particular characters were introduced, I immediately knew
It was going to be
how it was going to go. I immediately knew how it was going to go.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about more in spoilers, but it's kind of it's become like a Pixar thing to do what they did with these characters. Like I'll explain it in the spoilers, but they've done it in a couple of the other movies too.
Yeah.
But how do you think it ranks in terms of the sequels for Pixar? So the sequels, we've had Toy Story, the Toy Story sequels, and Cars sequels,
Monsters University.
and Monsters.
And
Cars
Finding
is
Nemo.
fucking shit. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah. Wait, we only know one person that actually liked that. Remember that girl from America?
Yeah, this girl from America liked Cars, but
I think
Like
that was
all the
her-
Cars movies?
No. I think Cars 3 is her favourite movie of all time. And she's like 21.
Okay. I was going to ask if she was like 5 years old.
And she's
or
also
something.
American, so yeah. That kind of explains that.
bloody Americans.
We've just lost all our American audience just there.
All the Americans.
They've all just tuned out.
Yeah. I think the Cars movies are definitely the worst. We could probably put them down the bottom.
Yeah, I think so.
I think you guys would agree on that.
Yeah.
I would probably put this above Cars, and then go Monsters Inc., and then Toy Story.
What about Finding Dory?
I haven't seen
You haven't seen
You
it?
haven't seen it.
No, I haven't
That's a
seen it.
crime.
it.
Go sit with Johnny in the corner.
Yeah.
I think this was definitely better than Monsters University, in my opinion, in terms of the story continuation. I guess that was kind of a prequel, Monsters University,
It's a
so it's a
prequel.
bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Finding Dory is better than this, and then Toy Story 3 was the best.
Yeah, Toy Story 2 and 3 are much
Yeah,
better
yeah.
than this, but yeah.
I would probably be the same. Like, obviously Cars at the bottom. I actually really enjoyed Monsters University.
Yeah, I really liked it as well for some reason.
Yeah, and Monsters Inc.'s one of my favorite Pixar movies.
Yeah.
So maybe because I like the first one
Yeah.
a lot more, I do enjoy the second one. I'd probably put this about equal to Monsters University, and Toy Story 2 and 3 are the best, and then probably Finding Dory is the second best.
Yeah.
This is definitely not a bad movie. Like, this isn't like Cars 2, like random shit with Mater. That's fucking
No,
terrible.
it was a worthy sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a worthy sequel. Yeah, it's worth watching.
I thought they'd take it like another route to the way they did take it. I felt like everything that happened in this movie might have happened in between the first and second movie.
I actually thought the exact same thing. I'm like, this is a very in-between movie. I thought it would pick up after all
Like a
this has
time lapse
happened.
kind of thing. Yeah, I thought Jack would be a bit older, but it pretty much picks up straight
After the first one.
movie.
We can talk more about what I would have liked in spoilers. So I'm going to give it 32.849.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll give it a 9.
Out of 10.
Well, I don't know, man. No, yeah, out of 10.
Okay, yep. All right. So you're giving it a 9? And what are you giving it?
I'll give it I think it's worth watching the cinema. So I'll give it watch in the cinema. Especially if you're a fan of the first one or a fan of Pixar. I think it's a good time. What we haven't talked about is the Pixar short that was before the movie.
Did you get my message halfway through the Pixar show? I was...
Without spoiling what the short's about, it's got a dumpling involved.
And I was about halfway through the short, and I messaged Riley like, "What the fuck is this shit with the dumpling?"
Dude, I thought it was awesome.
It was so weird, like until the end part, and then I'm like, "Oh, I get it." If you don't watch the end part and
Yeah,
you
it
stop
doesn't make
halfway
sense.
between, you would be like, "What the fuck is
Yeah,
this?"
I felt a bit uncomfortable watching it at certain stages.
Yeah.
I found all the faces really cute though in this one.
Then everyone's really plump and fat.
They're very
It's nice.
they're very
Yeah.
chunky.
But don't judge it too early like I did, because I was halfway through it. I'm like, this is the shittest thing I've ever seen, because it made me seriously uncomfortable for some reason. But then at the end, it comes full circle, and you're like, okay,
No, it
that's
made
kinda
sense.
sweet.
I thought it was one of the better shorts that they've done.
My favorite short is, I can't remember which movie it's from, but the one with the dog. Do you guys remember that one?
The one with I think that was before Big Hero 6.
Oh, was it?
I don't think I've seen that one because I only saw that on DVD.
Yeah, it's the one how I vaguely remember it. It's something about the dog and
Yeah, he gets it. It's you only see it from the dog's point of view. You never see the people. Yeah, it's a good short. If you haven't seen it, just search up dog Disney short and you'll find it.
I liked the one before Monsters University, the Umbrella one.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed that one. I think that was
a nice
favorite
one.
Which one was the volcano one?
That's Moana, isn't it?
No, it was before that.
Inside Out.
Yeah, Inside Out.
Inside Out, yeah, that was a good one. And the one before Finding Dory, the one with the little bird or whatever.
Yeah, that one was
the pebble
good.
or shell. That was good.
Oh, I've actually seen that one. Yeah, I've seen the short, but I haven't seen the movie.
Did you just go in for the short and then you had it up?
And I left.
I'm satisfied.
Overall, I'll give the short 32.8 as well. Yeah.
Again, okay.
Oh, okay.
So you'd say it's the same as the movie?
Yeah, I reckon it's about the same, as good as the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd give it a 9.
Okay.
And again,
I'd give it a watch in the cinema as well.
So it's pretty much a consistent watch.
No one's going to go to the cinemas just to watch the short, other than
Well,
me.
you went to the
Finding
cinemas to watch
Dory
the
one.
Finding Dory short.
Yeah, but I'm an anomaly.
All right, we'll jump into spoilers. So what I liked off the bat, I liked how they started with like the Disney logo. It was an Incredibles themed logo, and the Pixar was as well. I like that. And then they start off with, what's that guy that Violet likes?
Tony.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tony. Big boy.
So they start off with an interview with him because he happens to see Violet without her mask on, and they erase his memory.
That was a good starting scene. It had a bit of suspense as well.
When he was going to erase his memory, I'm like, is this going to be like an exact copy of Men in Black erasing the memory? And then he like shoots a little dart out. I'm like, okay, that's better. That's funny.
I thought when I saw that bit, I thought the movie was going to be a bit darker, considering what the start was. It looked pretty, shady.
But for those who haven't seen the first one, I guess it sort of gives you a bit of a recap because it shows that, and then it goes straight into when basically the end of Incredibles 1 and the action sequence.
At the start, I was really hoping that The Undertaker wasn't going to be the main villain.
Yeah.
Because that would have really sucked.
Is it Under Minor?
Under Minor.
Under Minor, yeah.
Under Minor. He's a bit of a comedy. He's been a comedy villain more than anything, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but he's still out there.
Yeah, he's still
Although
out
I remember
there.
playing a game on Nintendo DS. It was Incredibles. And I think the Underminer was the main villain in that.
The funniest part is when he like explodes the bottom of the buildings and they all fall down and he's like, "You've been undermined." Like, okay.
I enjoyed that. Yeah, some good dialogues.
But I like the first action sequence, and it shows them working as a team, which I thought would be this whole movie, but again, it wasn't.
It's kind of the only part that they work as a team, other than right at the end. Yeah,
right at the end. So what I thought this movie would be that superheroes are back, and maybe there's a super villain, like a major super villain, and then they have to team up all together as a family and fight the super villain, or something along those lines. But this was more of so superheroes aren't back yet.
That's what I thought as well. Would be kind of superheroes are allowed to do their thing now again, and they're going to fight a villain of some sort. But it's more that they basically choose Elastigirl as the poster girl to do all this stuff so that superheroes look good again, so that they can do their own thing.
So what was the actual reason they wanted Elastigirl?
Because she does less damage than Mr. Incredible and stuff.
Yeah, they
in
did
terms
all
of
the
like property
statistics and
damage.
stuff.
Like, that's what they tell her. That's what they tell them. But is that the actual reason? Or because they're obviously, yeah. Well, I guess the brother wasn't in on the whole thing, and it was his idea.
And I think she was just more appealing or marketable and everything as well. So
yeah, I think she was just better. She's like the Marvel heroes, and then Mr. Incredible is like the DC heroes. They just wreck shit up.
I guess he's kind of got a bit of a similar build to Ben Affleck.
He actually
he starts off pretty good, and then he just lets go a bit.
Yeah. And then after that, basically, they introduce his brother and sister character, and they want superheroes back.
I enjoyed that. I think it was good that they had both siblings there, and especially, I don't know if you guys have seen any of Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul.
Yeah, I know who he is. Yeah.
Yeah, so the character from that, so what was his name in the movie?
Winston.
Oh, yeah, Winston. Yeah, so in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, so he's the lawyer, and he's got a very similar role in that he's pretty flamboyant, got some money, and he's pretty quick thinking on his feet. So it was good that if anyone that has seen Breaking Bad, it kind of felt a lot easier to believe his character as you started watching it. So no, I thought that was pretty good.
And the sister?
Yeah, well, it's very obvious the turn her character is going to take, like, super obvious. Like,
Yeah.
I think the only people that wouldn't pick up on this are, like, 10-year-old kids
Well, the
or
kids that
lower.
were in our cinema.
Yeah, the one that broke her tooth.
I feel like her animation, like her actual look, character, I feel like I've seen in another movie.
Yeah, do you know that monster movie? The one how there's all these monsters from outer space?
Yeah.
And then she becomes big? It's the same she looks the same as that character.
It looks the exact same, that's it.
What's that movie called? It's actually a DreamWorks movie, which is a bit...
It's Monsters something. I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna find this.
Basically, I thought it was either going to be the brother or the sister that was doing the whole screen slaver thing. I knew it was all a setup from the start because they get her in, and every time something happens, they're on the phone with her. So it kind of feels like they're controlling what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. There was that one dialogue where she was, I think Elastigirl was like to Void, you're a genius. And then she said, no, I'm the genius behind the genius.
Yeah.
It was pretty early on. And then from there it was kind of like, yeah, right.
Yeah, and then the whole part when basically Elastigirl's investigating how the screenslaver guy is doing everything, and she's helping her, and she seems to know a little bit more than what she should about the whole thing.
Yeah. Although I did like it when she put the glasses on her. That was really nice.
But then again, like after that happened, I kind of knew what was going to happen after that as well. So like Mr. Incredible would have to come back, and then, well, he also gets that thing on him, and then it's up to Violet and Dash to save the day, and Jack.
I think her part of the movie wasn't as good as the home part of the movie.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the family part more than the actual superhero parts.
Yeah, especially with Jack. I thought that was quite good. And it was good to see Edna back as well.
Alright guys, I've done some research and I've got it. It's not the Monsters movie. That was wrong. But after doing some research, it's actually the chick from Megamind.
Megamind.
She looks exactly the same as the chick from Megamind.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of that movie?
It's alright.
It's not bad. The first half's pretty good.
Yeah. It's kind of funny, actually. Yeah, it's not bad. But yeah, I agree with what you guys say. It's pretty obvious that she's gonna turn and become bad, and there's like very obvious like imagery and like dialogues all throughout that kind of hints at her being the big bad character.
But the reason for her becoming bad as well, it's the same as the first Incredibles. Like, it's a bit flaky.
Yeah, it is a bit similar to the first one, actually.
Yeah, I thought her brother's reason for bringing them back,
that was also a bit suspect, yeah.
Although that was probably a better reason than her reason.
But overall, she's not the worst villain, I guess. I've seen worse in movies. She does her job well, and there is some kind of menacing parts with her. When she has everyone under control, it kind of seems like she's going to win, so you know she's not, but...
I think the screensaver concept as well was quite good, because that's pretty hard to beat.
When we were watching the movie, we noticed that a lot of the tech is, like, older. So this movie must be set before, like, it's not modern.
Like the 90s
times,
80s,
yeah. Because a lot of the phones are corded phones, and, like, the TVs are, like, these old TVs.
Yeah, true. It must set... Well, it is set just after Incredibles 1, so is it, like, set in, like, 2004 or whatever that was?
But it would probably be even before that.
Yeah, it'd probably even before that.
Like late 90s, maybe. What do you guys think of the whole home, like, the story for the home part?
I like that part, actually. That was one of my favourite parts. Especially because he's, like... He's a pretty salty husband, to be honest. I'm like, why is Elastigirl still married to this guy? He's so salty. But it's kind of good to see how his character changes from, like, being, like, the jealous one. That's like, oh, I have to be out there to... Yeah, you're better than me at some things.
Well, in a lot of ways, this movie's just, like, a reversal of the first movie. Because in the first movie, Elastigirl's, like, basically sitting it out. And Mr. Incredible's doing all the superhero stuff.
Yeah.
And this is, the reverse. And to be honest, Elastigirl's powers are more interesting, I reckon. Like, she can do cooler stuff.
Agree.
Yeah.
Like, especially all the chase scenes and all. There was no way that Mr. Incredible would have managed to stop any of that stuff.
Yeah.
You could do more stuff with Elastigirl's powers.
Yeah,
Just-
she was
I don't think-
she felt a bit like Spider-Man.
I don't think she's the most interesting one in terms of powers in the family, but she's, out of them two, she's the most interesting.
I thought that other girl, the one that could do the portals,
Oh yeah, she was
I
pretty.
thought she had a pretty good power.
Yeah.
But
She would have
everyone,
been pretty hard to beat.
all those guys, severely underused and not that great, just in general. They're like pretty throwaways, other than the Void chick. She's alright,
Yeah,
but
she's
everyone
alright.
else is...
What about that reflux guy?
That
Wait,
was
it a
pretty
guy or a
funny, to
girl?
be honest.
It felt like
think it's
an
a-
old lady.
Is it a lady? I thought it was a guy.
No, it's a guy. It's a guy.
Okay.
100% a guy. Do you know what it reminded me of? The guy in Deadpool 2. The Deadpool 2 guy? Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so. No, I thought that they'd have more Frozone as well. I didn't think they had.
Yeah, they didn't have
enough
much of him.
Frozone has the sickest powers. They should definitely
Yeah,
have
he
more
does.
of him.
They when they used him
Yeah.
at the start really well, I thought they'd use more of him, but he kind of just sat out most of that.
Pretty similar to the first movie, actually, when he
Yeah, true.
doesn't do much.
You know when Elastigirl's fighting who they think is Screenslaver, like she goes to his apartment and stuff.
You thought it was Frozone?
The way he runs and the way he kind of like how he looks, I guess, in that suit, it looked a bit like Frozone. So I was like, oh, maybe Frozone's like doing all this.
That would have been good, but it would have
Yeah.
made no sense.
Yeah, it would have made no sense.
Yeah,
ruined
like, it would
the
it
last
would have been a twist that no one's expecting, but like, everyone would be like, but why?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Unless he was being controlled or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that could have been alright.
Yeah.
Because it kind of just ended up being a random pizza guy.
Yeah, it's just some guy.
Yeah,
Maybe they
just some
should have just
random-
made it something else. Yeah.
But I thought the whole story with Tony, Violet, and
Yeah, that was
Incredible
good.
was really funny.
That was good, yeah.
I enjoyed
Jack
that bit
Jack
a lot.
is really good in this movie.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
haven't talked about him yet.
Jack Jack's pretty hilarious. I just like it how he does all this shit and then he just starts laughing afterwards.
Yeah. And I love that he just, if he doesn't get the cookie, he just becomes angry.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happens.
Do you know Edna? It's voiced by Brad Bird.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
saw
know that.
Yeah.
She had a good role in this.
Yeah.
Brad Bird is really good directing this. All his movies are pretty good, but especially the action stuff in this, I reckon. The train scene stands out,
The train scene was good.
and also the final scene's pretty good as well.
I thought it was good because it made it seem like there was some consequence for the movie. You weren't sure that they were going to win all the time.
Yeah.
So I thought that was quite good. Especially with the train scene. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if it just went over. And then that would be where, like, she turned, like, everyone made her look bad or something like that.
I guess we can talk about the top 3 moments.
Well, who was your favourite character?
I think my favorite character was probably Jack Jack, to be
No, I
honest.
agree.
Yeah.
My favorite character was...
Reflux.
yeah, the Underminer.
Very underrated.
Yeah, very underrated. No, I like Jack Jack as well. Jack Jack or Dash. Dash is pretty underrated in this movie, actually. He's quite funny. He doesn't
he's
do all
pretty
that much,
funny,
but yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
funny.
especially when they're checking out the house. He's quite funny. But yeah, I'd say any scene Jack Jack was in was quite good, I thought.
Yeah.
Jack Jack's probably the highlight of the movie overall.
Oh yeah, there was one thing I was going to mention. Like, Pixar does this thing with all their villains. They introduce the villain as a good character, or like just a normal guy, but then like towards the end of the movie they turn and become a bad character. Like it happens in Toy Story 3 with that teddy bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens in, if I don't think you guys have seen Coco, but it happens in Coco too.
I haven't seen that. Thanks, man.
It happens in a lot of their movies where this character just turns bad in the last sort of half an hour.
Yeah, maybe it's a thing that they're just leading into. It's okay if you do that, I guess, but I guess every single time they've done it, it's been pretty obvious.
Yeah, it's been obvious almost every time.
In Toy Story, it was pretty obvious, I gotta say, but I haven't seen Coco, so I don't know about that one.
Yeah, you see it coming in Coco too.
But I feel like because it is a kid's movie, in the end, it kind of makes sense. I guess it's all kids'
Yeah.
movies like that.
Yeah, if this was live action, it wouldn't have gone down well, I reckon. The same thing, like the same movie but live action, I don't think it would have done as well.
Yeah, definitely, I would agree. Especially with that twist, but people are a lot more kind of critical of live action movies than animated ones because they give it a pass because it's okay because it's a kids movie. But yeah, I think it's fine in terms of the kids would still enjoy it and it would still be fine. But most people would see it coming from a mile away.
My top moments are probably that train action sequence.
Yeah, train's good.
Probably all the stuff with Jack, especially the part where he fights the raccoon.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, and I probably really enjoyed the parts with Mr. Incredible at home, like how he's helping Dash with the homework, and then how he takes the family to the restaurant where Tony works.
That was great.
Yeah, so I liked those aspects of the movie. I guess for me, the family stuff was probably better than the superhero stuff.
Agreed.
Yeah, I got to say the same. Jack scenes, the train scene, and
the climax was alright, but it wasn't that great.
There's actually this scene where Frozone comes to the house, and then all the other guys come to the house. That's actually pretty well done.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's cool. A good scene.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed the scenes with Edna as well.
Yeah,
when she was showing off his Jack's new suit.
Yeah,
I like the part where Mr. Incredible comes back, and Edna seems to know how to control Jack. Like he's got like a lollipop and he's just walking along next to them.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I like it when they use him to shoot laser beams as well.
Yeah.
As a weapon. Yeah.
They're just abusing him. He's just a tool.
He's actually just so overpowered though, especially
he can do whatever he wants. Yeah.
He can actually do what like I don't think he was probably the one that they didn't need to ever babysit, but they always ended up babysitting.
He's not gonna die. If anything, he's gonna kill people.
Jack's gonna carry the franchise for the next 20 years.
He's pretty much like Apocalypse or something. Like he's got like every power, right?
Maybe Jack is Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Because he's got like he can pretty much do anything.
Laser beams.
Yeah.
The demon thing, which would be pretty
crazy. He can
crazy
multiply himself.
Yeah, the multiplying one, if you did multiplying, invisible, and laser beams.
Yeah.
There's not much you can't do.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe the sequel to this is like Jack turns bad. He goes evil.
I feel like it could be when he goes to school or something.
Yeah, maybe. But I reckon there will be a sequel to this one, probably.
I think so.
I've heard there could be a sequel, but Brad Bird is unlikely to direct it.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I would enjoy a sequel, but if he was directing it.
Yeah, I would want Brad Bird to do it, just because he knows the franchise well. But apparently he doesn't want to do sequels. And he's like, I'm unlikely to do sequels for the foreseeable future, so...
Well, he did this sequel.
No, I said, this would be,
after
the
this
last
game,
one.
Yeah,
after
fair
this
enough.
one, yeah.
Although, to be fair, with any Pixar movie, there hasn't ever been a bad one.
Except
Cars.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I don't think we count that.
But not according to your friend.
No one talks about that.
Fucking Cars.
I actually enjoyed the first Cars movie, though.
The first Cars movie isn't bad. I wouldn't say it's great.
Yeah.
But the second and third's just a train wreck.
I haven't actually seen the third one.
I haven't seen the third one, yeah.
The
second one is one of the worst things I've ever watched.
I've seen the third one, but not the second one, so...
Oh, don't watch it.
Alright. Well, I guess that's all we have to say. Is there anything else you want to mention? Anything we missed?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Pretty good movie. Go watch it.
Overall, good time. We were just saying, it's probably the second best movie we've seen this year. Do you agree? I think it is, because I can't think of anything.
So we've got our options. Our options, obviously, we've got...
Deadpool 2.
We've got...
Solo,
Infinity War.
Yeah.
I don't think we can count A Quiet Place, because that's just a very different movie.
Ocean's 8.
Ocean's 8. Yeah. I would say, I can't think of anything that was, apart from Infinity War, that was better than this.
I think it's probably just as good as Deadpool 2, maybe.
You reckon?
I thought it was
better than Deadpool 2, but yeah, fair enough.
Just as good, or maybe slightly better. But yeah, it's around that region.
Would you watch it again?
Incredibles 2? Probably not too soon. Maybe in the future, but at the moment, probably not.
Yeah, I don't know if it has as much rewatch value as the first one.
Yeah, I don't think so. If you saw more of more superhero stuff, I might have watched it again, but there isn't that much. It's more of the same.
Yeah.
So,
well, I guess they didn't have the benefit of a fresh concept and introducing
those
new characters like they did in the first one. So
yeah.
It's still better than any Fantastic Four movie ever made.
Yeah, it's still better.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
But it's not as good as the... No, I won't say it.
That's what. You got to say it now.
Spy Kids.
Okay, so we're going to do it's official now. We're going to do a Spy Kids. How many are there? Like
3. No, there's like 5. 4.
Okay, we're gonna do a Spy Kids ranking.
I've only seen the original
episode.
3, though.
I've only seen the first one, I think.
Have you not seen 2 and 3?
Maybe I have.
I've only seen the first one.
No,
I
2's
think.
Is Sylvester
the best.
Is Sylvester Stallone in one of them?
He's in the 3rd one. He's the toy maker.
Okay, I've seen that one.
So you've only seen that one?
No, I've seen the first one, definitely.
Okay, the second one's the one where they go to that island.
Oh, I've seen that one as well. What the
Okay,
fuck?
so you've seen all of them. They're highly
Okay, so that's like Kishore's a big fan of Spy
highly
Kids
underrated
movies.
They are so bad.
They're better
so
than
bad.
Cars.
They're worse than Cars.
Yeah, they're. We'll get to that. We're watching just a advertisement for that new TV show Instinct with Alan Cumming, and Kishore immediately recognized that he was in Spy Kids as a villain.
So which movie is he in?
I think he's in the second one, but he comes back in the third one as a friend. Or no, I think he's in the first one.
Yeah, he's the villain in the first one.
Yeah, I think he's the one that multiplies those weird things. Yeah, but he comes back as a good guy.
It's obviously his claim to fame, the
I think so.
Spy Kids.
It set him up for Instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like 15 years later.
Yeah. Yeah. So we will have that episode at some stage. It's going to happen.
Everyone's got to watch it again.
Yeah.
Oh,
I actually
no.
watched the third one.
We'll have to binge all 5.
Are we going to watch the one with Jessica Alba and stuff as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All of them.
Okay.
Completeness.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we'll wrap it up. We all recommend watching Incredibles 2. Now, Taran can tell everyone how people can contact us. He always struggles with this. Just watch.
Nah, I'm totally fine with it. So we've got email, which is cognitive recalibration podcast @gmail.com. We've got Twitter, which is at recalibration, I think. At recalibration. Instagram is just cognitive recalibration, and Facebook is just cognitive recalibration as well.
It's the first time he's done it without stuffing it up.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, it's solid.
And you can find us on iHeartRadio now, and we're on iTunes as usual, and Stitcher Radio. Still waiting on Spotify approval. Maybe they've found episodes to be offensive or something, and they're just not going to do it.
They are pretty offensive.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Also, what the fuck's iHeartRadio?
People use it. I've seen downloads from iHeartRadio.
Okay, fair enough.
So obviously someone uses it. Someone that listens to this.
Sorry, man. For the one guy that's listening to it on iHeartRadio.
Even you don't listen to the podcast.
I don't think it's listened to a single episode yet.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. All right. Next week we've got Jurassic World.
Yeah, which is apparently the second biggest opening this year, so...
After Infinity War.
After Infinity War. Interesting.
Also, we forgot about, in the ranking of movies, Black Panther.
Oh yeah, Black Panther. Black Panther
Do
is better than
you
this.
reckon Incredibles was better than Black Panther? Incredibles 2?
No.
Nah, I think I
personally think it was better.
everyone knows, whoever's listened to our ranking video, everyone knows that I don't rate Black Panther that highly. So I would say Incredibles 2 is better.
I would say Black Panther's better. In other news that I do mention at the start, Kevin Feige thinks the best Marvel Cinematic Universe movie ever made is Black Panther. So
Really?
But
yeah.
I think it kind of has to say that, though, because it's got the whole movement behind it, right?
yeah,
He doesn't
but
have to. He doesn't have to say anything, but
yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like he could have said Infinity War if he wanted.
He could have
to.
said Infinity. Yeah, he could have said Infinity War.
Yeah, and
Like,
that's fair enough.
if he said Iron Man 2 or something, then that's suspect. Like-
Yeah, that is real suspect if you said that. I would say it's Black Panther's better than this, but
yeah.
I understand if you guys think, this is better.
Yeah.
I disagree, and I'm no longer friends with you, but I understand.
I'd put Black Panther at third after Infinity
I think A
War.
Quiet Place is probably, I'd say personally better. But it's a very different
Black
movie, so it's hard to
Panther.
compare.
The Black Panther as well.
Yeah, I think so.
You fuck, you're just rubbishing Black Panther. So bloody racist podcast.
How am I being racist? I'm the blackest one out of all of us.
Yeah, he's got the right to say it. He's got the right.
Yeah.
All right, then. I guess we'll wrap it up.
Thanks for coming on, Kish.
No worries.
Yeah, thanks for being on the podcast. We'll get you back for the Spy Kids.
Thanks, guys. Looking forward to that.
Fuck.
It's going to be eagly anticipated now.
I wouldn't even have to rewatch it. I've rewatched it that many times. I've actually got all 3 DVDs. All right, thanks so much, guys.
No worries. Okay. We'll see you next week, guys. See ya.